Patch 23.6 is a huge one, a big shakeup for Battlegrounds, so let's look at it together. And sadly for now, you'll still have to deal with this very accurate representation of me that I made in last video. Now, Battlegrounds general updates. Darkmoon prizes are now back. This is huge. A lot of people really missed the prizes. A lot of people also didn't enjoy them. But it seems to be an event that is recurring from time to time. If you don't know what they are the spells basically that Ticketus gets every 4 turns. So that will be a thing now from now on until the next Battlegrounds season. Oh, that's a while. I think Battlegrounds seasons are together with the MMR resets. So this is going to be a couple months if I'm not mistaken. They will only appear in 25% of games though. So that's very important to remember. Not every game is going to have them. Not even half of the games. There's only 1 out of 4 games. So even if you don't like spells, you don't have to worry about it too much. Prize lobbies are also very different. They're very greedy, very spicy. So once every 4 games, you'll see one of those high roll prize lobbies. And I think that's fine. I think that shakes up the game quite a bit. Also, some Darkmoon prizes have been adjusted since their last appearance, so they're tweaking it as well. The number of copies of tier 1 minions was reduced from 16 to 15. Oh, this is gonna make a slight difference to how easy it is to hit like better shops on tier 2, for example, or tier 3 early on, and maybe how easy it is to triple one of your tier 1 cards is going to be slightly harder. But exactly how noticeable this impact is, I'm not sure. The following Battlegrounds perks are being extended until the next Battlegrounds season instead of the next standard expansion. Oh, okay. Stay tuned for more details on changes to Battlegrounds perks and rewards before the next Battlegrounds season. Alright, we'll get more info on this soon. Now, some of the new cards and this new hero, Lady Vashj, I already talked about in last video, so I'm not going to repeat myself. In case you missed that, you can check it after this one or just go check it out right now if you want to see my take on Lady Vashj and the 9 new cards that we got. But jumping right into hero updates. Bigglesworth, the cat, will now give you a coin whenever a player dies with no minions. So it always feels bad when someone dies and has no board left. Let's say you have a lever in the lobby. Now at least you get something in return. So if someone leaves the lobby, you get an extra coin. So you have like something to work with. It's still not great getting just a coin from someone who dies, but hey, could be worse. Cariel got a buff. Cariel is a really bad hero, so let's see if this will make her viable. Conviction now targets more minions at each rank. 2 random friendlies at rank 1, 4 random friendlies at rank 2, and all friendly minions at rank 3. So basically you get an extra +1/+1 on an extra card for your hero power. That still doesn't make her that good, I think. In lower ranks, she's definitely going to be stronger. I think she was already decent in lower ranks. In higher ranks, this is not going to make too much of an impact or make her see play all of a sudden. And I think that's just my stance on it. This hero power still doesn't give you econ or skills up that well. So I'm still not going to play Cariel, but I would not be surprised to see her win rate go up quite a bit, especially in lower ranks. Tar. This is a horrible hero that sees barely any play. So it used to just copy the attack of the highest minion until next turn, and now it just copies the attack of the highest minion until next turn. But it says choose a minion and not choose a friendly minion. So you can now just target cards in the shop as well, which I don't know, that doesn't make this hero viable. It's like a nice addition, I guess, but that makes such a small impact on the hero. Seems underwhelming. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a similar change to Thunder, who is the counterpart of this hero, where instead of attack it is health. Now Guff basically went, you know, to a different armor tier, but most noteworthy, from a 1 gold hero power that gives +1/+1 to minion from each tavern tier, it is now a 2 gold hero power that gives friendly minion from each tavern tier +3/+2, which is a huge buff. This is like one of the bigger buffs we've seen slapped onto a hero power, especially since this can target multiple cards on your board. But it's 2 gold. 2 gold is very expensive. And I think it's going to be in the same boat as Cariel. I think in higher ranks, 2 gold hero powers just barely see play because it's so expensive. Gold is really important. And in higher ranks, people snowball way more and scale more exponentially. So they get multiple triples into 6s and nothing can stop that. You can't compete with that with a hero power like this, which is the same logic as to why Khatoon is not a good hero. But again, in lower ranks, I see this being extremely good. Even though this is expensive, you get so much scaling, essentially enough to maybe be able to outscale lobbies if no one hits like really well. I think Guff's win rate, I actually don't know how much stronger this realistically is, because doubling the gold that you have to spend for a little bit over double the stats, if that's gonna be good enough, I don't know. But again, this is something that probably is not gonna make me take Guff, but is gonna increase the overall win rates. I could be terribly wrong about this, maybe this is broken, but I don't see it. Overlord Sarfang. They're giving an overhaul to a lot of the very bad tempo heroes, it seems. So it used to give +2 attack to the next minion you buy this turn, upgrade each turn. Now it's give +2 attack to the next minion you buy. It loses this turn. So that basically means, I think, it carries over to the next turn. So you could press your button and then it would give you, let's say, +2 attack. for the next minion that you buy, but next turn you could just end up buying a minion and maybe hero powering again and having that attack stack up with the previous attack. I think that's how it works. So yeah, Def Command, the effect now carries over between turns. So Syndragosa basically is exactly the same. Nothing changed. There's no functional change, so I'm just gonna skip over this real quick. It's just the wording. It's neat. Now this is a really horrible hero. Moved from armor tier 7 to armor tier 1, so that means there was a significant change here. From a 2 gold hero power that basically gives a friendly minion death rattle summon a random minion of the same tavern tier, it is now a 1 gold hero power. Give a friendly minion death rattle summon a random minion of a lower tavern tier. So it became cheaper to use, but summoning something from a lower tavern tier, what do you do with that? I can see the tempo applications and the events synergies and other things that you could maybe do with this, or tripling into like a tier 6 card here, powering that it summons maybe a bunch of 5 drops. But I don't think it still compares to what we got in the game. Even though it's a 1 gold hero power, it seems underwhelming. It's definitely gonna be better, it's gonna be stronger, but it's not gonna be armor tier 1, at least again in higher ranks. Like, and you will notice that a lot of these hero power changes is mainly buffing the tempo of the hero power, which has no impact on the late game, and that is the biggest issue with a lot of these heroes. In the end game, it is always the greedier heroes that come out on top and that win lobbies and gain ranks. And in lower ranks, that is usually the opposite. Tempo and just consistent good scaling, like Katoon for example, or like the new Cariel or the new Guff, that is what is gonna get you ranks. But the issue is that this doesn't scale. Like, this hero power doesn't give you stats, doesn't give you anything, it just gives you random cards that you summon, so it makes you a little bit stronger, but you still need to build a board somehow. So I think it's still actively worse than the others that we saw. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that amazing. And here's a Vandar change. It's the same as the one with Drektar. Basically, you can now also target units in the shop to get that health onto a card on your board. Yashiraj. So I think the wording of this was also changed. So instead of summoning a minion and then adding a copy to your hand, it first adds a minion to your hand and then summons a copy of it. So Def Command, what this means is that the minion will be added to your hand even if there's no board space to summon it. So you can now play a full board and press your hero power on Yashiraj if you still want to get a card from your tavern tier. This is really good if you're level to 6 but already have a really strong board and you think the 6 drop doesn't really make you stronger, which usually it does, but let's say you have a good enough setup already but you want to start getting 6s in hand. I don't know what the practical application of this is, because usually you want to power level and use this as tempo to be strong on the board, but in the end game it could be, or in the mid game it could be useful. Yeah, sure, Yashiraj, I think this is a decent buff. And if you're new here, like 60% of people, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you do like this type of content, because I'm really close to 20,000 subscribers, so that would be a huge milestone to hit. Thank you. Now, new minions, again, I went over some of these in the other video, but I would assume you're getting some more changes as well that were not yet revealed. And minion pool updates. Shifter Zeras and Iron Sensei are returning to the minion pool. That is insane. Let's talk about that real quick. Shifter Zeras is the card that just changes into a random card in your hand every turn. It's the most RNG bullshit card we've ever seen, and I don't know how to feel about it. I hope it's just for a little bit and it takes Shifter Zeras out again, just like Darkmoon prizes. I don't want this to be a permanent edition, but it is really fun to play with. I gotta admit, it makes for some really fun videos, some cool moments and screenshots, but it can get really annoying if you face, let's say, a gas coiler on turn 5. Just imagine, that's so toxic. This might also make AFK slightly better, discovering free drops and then getting like double Shifter Zeras and doing something crazy. It's high risk, high reward. You can also just buy a Shifter Zeras and it just turns into a 1 drop every turn. So it's just gonna be a fiesta. I think it's fun to see it return, and we'll see how it plays out now in the current meta. It could be incredibly toxic, but it's a funny meme. And Iron Sensei is one of my favorite cards. I know a lot of other people miss that card as well. It's just great. It's fun. It's like some passive max scaling. It's not over the top strong. It has a weak body, but it's just fun to play with. So I'm happy to see that card back, and I think that's a positive addition to the game. Now for the cards being removed, for all the new ones that are getting back into the game. Acolyte of Katoon, the Reborn Taunt is gone. Menagerie Mug, which is interesting. That's a buff now gone for Menagerie. Unstable Ghoul, so Ghoul is actually gone and is now being replaced by the 4 drop, so countering George will be harder. Finding a counter to Divine Shields, you need to actually be looking for a 4 drop now. Green Thumb, oh, that's interesting. I really like that card. I think it was an interesting way to scale up a board early on. Clunker? Okay, sure. Prester Spiral Spawn, finally, after much complaining, is removed from the game. Defender of Argus is now gone, so they actually got rid of Argus for the 2 drop instead for Taunt. Okay, I wonder what influenced them to make that decision. And Mikano Egg, so no more Egg, so less Death Rattles, like Kangor shenanigans or resummons for a deflectable reset. Now, minion updates, we're also getting a lot of updates. First of all, Bannerboard turned from a 1/4 into a 1/3, and the main difference is that it now plays a blood gem on adjacent minions. cards, so not just Quillbores. You can now buff up any 2 cards you put next to it, making Bannerboard a lot better. Even though it lost the health, you can play it on any board. It's flexible, you can pick it up, you can buff up 2 deflectables with it or whatever. So this card will be really fun to play with. You don't just need to have existing Quillbores on the board, and then if you roll a Brute or a good Quillbores to buff, you can just have this setup already. Yeah, I don't think Quillbores needed a buff, but I really like this. This makes a lot of sense. Battlemaster basically just got +2 attack, which I think is a huge deal because Battlemaster, well, you value attack on it pretty highly since it has so much health. And having a comeback mechanic in the game like Battlemaster, I think is pretty alright. It rewards you for power leveling. If you're on low health, you have a way to stabilize. And with so much poison and Leroys and things like that, it's not like this is that oppressive of a card anyway. Soul Devourer, I think they just changed the wording and nothing functionally changed, like the dev comment mentioned, so I'll just go over this. And Greasebot is now a 6 drop. What the hell? So from a 3/6 that basically gives +1/+1 whenever a Divine Shield minion loses its shield, it is now a 4/7, so not that big of a stat buff, just +1/+1. But after a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, give it +3/+2 permanently. That is really interesting. I have no clue how to evaluate this. Greasebot used to be really strong, giving +2/+1 on Tavern Tier 4, but that's because it was so early accessible. Like, it was so easy to get online, shields were super strong, and then it got nerfed, but it still sees some amount of play, not a whole lot. I wonder if this will be enough for a 6 drop, like comparable to Lightfang, who gives +2/+2 every turn consistently to Menagerie cards. You need a full Divine Shield setup already, and even then, it's not that much more stats than Lightfang unless you get your shields back multiple times, and this gets to live, and you get that extra Divine Shield value. So I actually don't think this is that amazing. I really like that they're trying something experimental and moving a Greasebot to tier 6 as a main way to scale that is new in the game, but I sadly just don't think it's enough. Well, I mean, what if you have 2 mackerels that are taunted? That could be spicy. I'm not gonna judge it too early. I think I really like this card and the design, and I'm definitely gonna experiment with it. But so far, from what I can judge compared to other 6s, it's probably not that strong. Now, some Darkmoon prizes updates. The good stuff gave +2 health to minions in Bob's Tavern for the rest of the game. Now it gives +1 attack to minions in the tavern for the rest of the game, which is way worse. Plus health is really good for early fights, for the value trades, and just in general, way better. +1 attack, I mean, sometimes if you hit shields, it's slightly better, but majority of the time this is not gonna have that big of an impact as it previously did. So yeah, this got a big hit. I'm still just a rat in a cage. Now, instead of doubling a minion's attack, it gives a minion +2 attack and then double it, so a slight buff to this in case you already have a card on the board that's not yet super buffed. You could, you know, get some extra value out of it. Sure, I guess. Still don't really like taking this too often. And a great deal, which for the rest of the game reduced the cost of upgrading Bob's Tavern by 3 at the end of your turn, is now reducing the cost, wow, by 6, but not at the end of your turn. It's just a one-time reduction. So basically, you just get 6 gold with this spell. With 6 gold that you cannot spend in the shop or anything, you can only spend that on leveling. Yeah, I still don't think this is great. The Bouncer gave a friendly minion +5/+5 and taunt, and now gives a friendly minion +6/+6 taunt. Okay, sure. Bananas now have a 50% chance to be a big banana. So I guess previously it was only small bananas. Now there's some big bananas mixed in. Additionally, big banana has been removed from the prize pool and 2 new prizes have been added. So banana was one of the first prizes that you could hit. It was really bad, almost no one took it. And now we got new ones. So we got Banana Bunch, which is, you know, one of the earlier prizes that you can find. Add 2 bananas to your hand. Okay, so they just doubled what the card did essentially. Okay, sure. That's actually not that bad. Oh, they also have 50% to be big bananas. Okay, so there's a lot of RNG mixed with this. This could be just +2/+2 or +4/+4. So kind of a big gamble to take. Mind Flayer Goggles. This is priced turn 3, so this is turn 12. Till all minions in Bob's Tavern, then refresh it. It's kind of like the Yogg, what Yogg's Buddy did, where you take the entire tavern and then just get a roll, which isn't usually that good. Like, you get a bunch of random cards in hand, a bunch of money, but for a turn 12 price, I think there's way more impactful things that you could be taking here. This is not something that will win you the game. Finally, players who are in the bottom half of the scoreboard are no longer more likely to get better prizes. Some quick bug fixes, because that's important as well. Fix a bug where low skill Spellcraft temporary Divine Shield could remove a minion's permanent Divine Shield. Oh, I didn't even know about that. Okay, that is literally it for Battlegrounds. It says other performance improvements, so let's hope that the lag is finally addressed. I don't know, it doesn't say so specifically here. So that was it. This is a really big patch. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown of it and will enjoy playing this as much as I will, because I'm definitely gonna jump into a game after this video is done. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.